Yo, let's say you wanted to create a fine binding out of a book like this. This is a copy of Lord of the Rings from the 70s. It's a sewn book, which is typically what you would do this out of. And I'll just give you an idea of what the type of thing you can create. So this is the first fine binding I ever did, which is purple and white cloth with silver tooling, which is kind of art. It's like an Art Deco inspired design. I'll just have a look at that there. And it has really nice marbled end papers. Well, this is actually a photocopy of the real marble that I also used on I made 2 copies of this. So let's say you wanted to take this down and then build it back up into something like this. You would take the case off, which is the cover and the boards and the spine card, anything up the spine. You'd clean the spine, any glue, old glue, and then you would remove all the sewing. I prefer to re-sew all of my books when doing a fine binding like this. And when it's taken down, it'll look something like this. This is just a mock-up of some sections with some holes punched to imitate what it would be like. Obviously there'd be 12 or 15 sections, odd number hopefully, in this. This is what it would look like, and then you can build it up from here and create something like this. Obviously if you were doing Lord of the Rings, you wouldn't really design it like this. You could do anything you wanted. There's plenty of places you could go for design from Lord of the Rings. But these sections, if you have a look at how battered this book, well, it's in pretty good shape. The binding's pretty tight, but the pages are dirty, and when you clean the spine, there's going to be residual glue. Maybe the spine end of the sections are damaged. That can happen. You can repair them, but obviously having clean pages and sections would be ideal. So, but if you think about it, before this book was bound like this, it was in sections like this. Before it was sewn, anything like that. Kind of like a stem cell version of the sections, clean, no holes or anything like that. And it's a bit rare, but you can actually get copies of books like that, and that is what I have today. So this is a copy of the periodic table by Primo Levi, and this is from the Folio Society. So let me just get rid of some of these so I can got more space. So this is in sections, and there's not even holes punched in the spine end. So this is very far back in the process. It's basically just been printed and folded, and that's it. And now you can do anything with this, and this is really cool. I was so excited when I got given this. An older binder, I asked him, like, is it possible to get stuff like this, because I thought about it and I was like, it would be so cool to get loose bindings from the publisher. And he said, well, it's kind of rare. And then a week later he just came in and gave me this, and I was just like, whoa. So this is actually the first Folio Society product I've had. The paper is pretty good on first inspection. The grain is correct, and it's a nice cream colour. I like a nice cream, kind of like these gloves. I like an off-white. I just much prefer that when reading. It's just much more pleasing on the eye. There is some bleed, which I don't know if you can see, like the paragraph through there. I've never been distracted by bleed when reading. I don't know, it's a term I only recently kind of came across when watching similar people review books, but I don't really mind. This paper seems pretty good to me. It's wove, I think. Then there are illustrated pages I'll just show you the first one here. This is on some kind of different paper. It's like it's got like a texture on it, almost kind of like it's been hit with a hammer. Kind of, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but my camera's not that good. But we'll try and get a reflection or something like that. So I don't know. But I think the grain of this art glossy paper is correct as well, which is nice. And these are, I think they're fully tipped in. I've not looked up everything, but yeah, it's really good. Another interesting thing, so this is how far back in the process it is. It's openable. See, you can see the fold there at the top. So I couldn't even read this if I wanted to, because after you'd sew this, you would either use a guillotine and cut it, or depending on how you've made it, you could use a knife and score along. But obviously, there's like manufacturing marks, so you would want to take at least quite a bit more off to thingy. Another cool thing about these sections is, I'll see if I can unfold it a bit, because these are folded kind of weird. Oh yeah, here we go. So normally with a book with sections, or most of all the books in sections I've seen, the folds are just at the top. But with the exception of one, I've seen a publisher's binding from like the 1700s which has this also, but there is a fold on the foredge. So let's just have a look. So after this illustrated page, this is so hard. After this illustrated page, we will go and up there, you see, there's a fold on the foredge. That's so cool. So that means you'd have to cut along the top and then down the foredge as well with the guillotine. But which is a shame actually, because that means you're going to eventually, you're going to have to cut some of the illustration out, which is quite sad. Wait a minute, why is that? Oh no, just says it twice, I guess, there on it. Couple of other interesting things. So if we look up the spine, you will see a cascading number of rectangles which denote the sections. So sometimes you would have at the start of a section maybe a number or a letter at the bottom corner, and that would denote the first, like the sections. You go through A, B, C, so you know which order they're in. And these are in a cascade, so you can go that way, like just give it a glance look. And the ones that are blank are the illustrated sections. So this is like the outer page of a section, so some nice illustrations. I'll show the next one. Are we right there? Yep. Where are we? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of them is just, it's like white on the outside because it's not illustrated on the outside of the section, it's illustrated on the inside. So there we are. And the back of that one. It's quite nice. And then, yep. So let's go back to the spine with the sections. So it goes kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you will see it kind of jumps to here and then back up again. I think that is because if it was just a cascade, you might not know where it ended, so it kind of goes down, 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 and then up one. So I think it's so you know it's the last one because it's like out place of it. But you might notice this one here. Like, what's that? And I was like, what's that? when I got it, and it is a copy of the first section again. And when I took this home and had a good look at it, because the guy just kind of gave me it and kind of left, I was terrified that he had two copies of this and kind of scooped up kind of one, full one plus one, and gave me, I thought he might have been missing a section, but no, I asked him and he said it came like that. So somewhere out there, someone might be missing a front section, but not him. He's fine. And I joked it's kind of like a spare wheel now. Like if the normal one kind of wears out, you can just unsew it and pop this one on. So I might, because when I'm going to rebind this, I will bind this. In some point, I might put that first section somewhere, like make a small section of a slipcase, like have the book in one, and then like a sliver of one, and have that, because I think it's cool that it's just an extra one. I've not checked to see if there's like anything wrong with it, like maybe there's a mistake or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is super cool. It's like, it reminded me of when I learned about like coach building in cars, like back in like the pre-50s, I think, where you could buy like the chassis and like the powertrain, like drivetrain of a car, like wheels and everything, and then you take it to a coach builder who would build like the exterior and maybe the interior. I'm not 100% sure. And it was like you would have the car model, but it would be like completely different exterior, and it could be like, there'd be, if two people went to the same coach builder with the same car, they would be different. So that kind of is what this is. It's like the chassis, and I get to like build out on that. But I'm not fully familiar with the Folio Society. I know they're like a tier above normal books, but I'm not sure on where they rank kind of generally with other presses like that, publishers like that. Like I've heard of Centipede Press, I've heard of Suntrup or Suntrup, I'm not sure, but I know the virtually zero about the other ones. I'd love to get them and have a look and maybe dismantle one or two to see how they're made, see if it's like worth the money or anything like that. But yeah, this is like, when I thought about getting loose sections, I thought about it from a basic books like standpoint, like getting just like a normal, like normal copy, not a more deluxe version like this. So this is like, it's like double what I thought it would be, so hopefully what I'm going to do is buy a normal copy of this book, because it seems very interesting. It's chemistry and history in one, which is interesting to me. I'll read it, excuse me, and probably twice, maybe make notes and design something, and hopefully I can design it and make it and put as much effort in as the kindness that was shown, giving me this book, because I was so giddy when I got this. It was unbelievable. Another thing about the sewing, sorry, I'll put this in right at the end. The fact that there's no holes means I don't have to stick to what the original publisher thought, because sometimes you will get a book with regular spaced holes that had regular spaced sewing, but maybe you don't want to do something like that, which would mean you would have to choose to omit using some of the holes, which might look funny in the middle of a section where you can see it, where you can see the sewing. Sometimes you can't, depending on how you've rounded it. It's sometimes quite difficult. Or you might have to put extra holes in, which might weaken it depending on if they're nearer to the old ones or whatever that. So this is fully bespoke. I can sew it any way I want. which is really cool. But yes, I think that's about everything cool with it. I've done the spine, done the paper, done the illustrations. I'm not very good at showing illustrations, I'm aware. Done the fold. Yep. So it will be a while before I rebind this, probably. I've got a couple of things going at the minute, but when I do, I will show it off, talk about how I've done it, what I've done, why I designed that way. I don't have a design in mind yet, but chemistry and history, whoa, that's like do anything. Could do anything. But yeah, so see you when it's done.